wants to pay the amount. 3 of the 5 homeowners paid, 2 did not. When the lien came up for approval by the council, it was tabled. To this day, we still have no lien on the property. 3 people paid, 2 people didn't. The lien needs to be placed on the property. My letter stated very clearly that on December 19th, a lien would be placed on the property and they would be taken to tax sale in the future. That didn't happen, so now that can't happen either until 2019. The town of Phillipsburg is out this money. We do not do repairs for private property.
Ms. Callery, it's to my understanding that the homeowners weren't provided with enough time to get their own repairman. Would that be true?
I don't know. I was not here. I was on vacation.
Right. And when Councilman McVeigh and myself had visited you in the municipal building, we had asked one question, and that question was, is this how it would have happened had you had not been on vacation and been there in the municipal building? What was your
I
name?
would have argued and said no.
Yes. So with that being said, it is the opinion of myself that unfortunately this was handled the wrong way by the town of Phillipsburg, and I can't ask the taxpayers to foot the bill for a mistake in the process. What I would do is I would chalk this up to a learning experience, and I would request that the mayor from now on, from this point forward, call a professional and deem it an emergency.
From what I was been told, the town engineers were involved.
I can tell you, we did speak with the town engineer, and he stated he was not called.
Okay.
Do you know who told you? Who, if you don't mind me asking, who told you they were called?
I believe I talked to other department heads,
Okay.
which I don't want to bring into this.
No, I understand completely. I understand wholeheartedly. I do thank you for coming out, but I did have that one question asked, and I know that Councilman Davis was the one who had requested your presence. Councilman, did you have a question for Ms. Keller?
No, I just wanted specifications on this. Sorry, I wanted clarification on what had the deviation from the normal process. They stated that it's not what happened if you had not been here. What is different?
Normally, what should happen is the town fixes the main, which is our responsibility. The laterals are the homeowner's responsibility. We do not fix them. The water is turned off, and they do whatever they deem necessary as a property owner. I mean, the town of Phillipsburg is out over $6,000. And I think that needs to be addressed, and then a lien needs to be placed on those 2 property owners. They need to pay their share of the repair.
Again, I do understand where you're coming from, but the town of Phillipsburg made a mistake in this case.
I have to disagree.
But you told me that this is not how you would have handled it if you were there.
But I can't go back and change anything.
No, nor can I, nor can the homeowners. But because of the way the process played out, this has to serve as a learning experience. A very expensive one. So I'm
Well, you know what? It's not on me. I'm only trying to uphold what should be done.
sure. I wish that you did not go on vacation, but I'm glad that you do have vacation.
Council President,
Yes, Councilman McVeigh.
because I was there, let me just confidently say, you are a dedicated worker of, I believe, over 31 years of experience in this town, and I thank you for that. And when I vote, it is not going to be any inference of negligence, dropping the ball in layman's term or whatever, on you or anyone in your office. No one in your office.
Thank you. Any comments?
Yeah, I have a few. I just was, for the town of Phillipsburg is not a bank. I would really, really hope this is not the normal way we do things. I commented in the I think it was the working session, that, I was away on vacation once and I got a call to come home and take care of a tree that fell down. If the town of Phillipsburg sporadically decided to just send me a bill for $10,000 for a tree that had to be taken down, I'd be pretty upset if I came home and was told that I had to pay $1,000 over the course of whatever to make good to the town of Phillipsburg. I may not have had that, and I'm making numbers up just for hypothetical, but I think she just stated, did you say this has to be cleared up by December of this year?
It should have been cleared up by December of last year.
I understand.
So your 2017 funds have been expended for
Expended,
these,
I understand.
and we have not been repaid.
So the town is out.
The town is out. Normally what happens when a repair is made, you're given 30 days. You pay it, you don't pay it, you'll see all kinds of municipal resolutions for municipal lien services. That's what happens. It goes to lien, I assess interest, they choose to pay it. If they choose not to pay it, when the next tax sale comes up, it goes to tax sale. That's even worse. Then you have a physical, you have a big lien on your account.
So a couple other questions. I
I
remember,
treat everyone the same. I charge everybody interest.
as you
If
should.
you don't pay when the due date is due, you get charged.
Okay. So all that being said, I know I did see requests from one homeowner specifically. She sent a letter into the office requesting an extension. Is that something that's possible that can be worked out as opposed to putting liens on? I don't want to put a lien on somebody's property because they couldn't afford $500 a month to pay for something they didn't have much of a choice over. Is it possible they can author something, sign something legally stating they will make the required payments over the course of an extended period of time?
Right, so I think, so right now,
I'm already out last year. We can't do anything about that. I'd like to recover it this year.
so the issue really comes down to when the town can enforce the lien, and the town can enforce the lien when it goes to sale, right? Because that's the whole point, is being made whole in the town, and this is what Sandy does, this is her obligation, her duty as a tax collector, and she does, Bill and Frank says she can do a good job. So, if the council wanted to, you can't really do payment plans, but because, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, because the lien would not be able to go to sale anyway until 19, the town council could perhaps give a few months.
He's already gotten 6 months,
Right, but if they impose the lien today, it wouldn't go to sale until when?
2019, but I get to assess interest.
Right. And if they, which is going to be fairly
Because that
negligible.
has been used now for 7 months too.
Right. Right, but the interest is going to be fairly negligible on the dollar amounts that we're talking about. We're not talking huge dollars from now. So let me just close the loop on my question. So the second question would be then, if they impose the lien in June, when would it go to sale?
Of last year,
Of this year? If they go to June, they impose the lien in June.
any lien, any municipal lien I would place this year would not go to tax sale until 2019.
So we're talking about February 6th versus, say, I'm not saying, just throwing this out there, if you imposed the lien, and you gave them until June to make whole, which in a sense would be a payment plan, because they could stagger out each month, they could pay, they could squirrel away their money, not pay, they could squirrel away their money and pay it off in June. At that point, if they didn't do it, and the council wanted to accommodate Sandy and her obligation to collect, but also
We could
recognize.
impose it at that time?
You impose it at that time, and you're really talking about a delta of between February and June, which is 5 months, 4 months, of interest on $3,000 at 18%.
Well, actually, I just calculated interest from December 19th until today,
Right,
and that's $61.
right.
Had I assessed interest from last June, last July, because I gave the 30 days, the interest would be $251.88.
Right, but that's gone.
But what I'm trying to say is, the town has not been made whole, we're not charging interest, this person has gotten 7 months for free. Everybody else adhered.
Again, I reiterate my point that the town of Phillipsburg has made this mistake. We've diverted from our normal process. Ma'am, I know that you disagree, and I respect that.
And
But-
that's perfectly fine. I have nothing else to say.
Thank you.
Ms. Kelly, for those accounts that are still delinquent, have we received any payments on those accounts today?
No, I have not received a phone call, a payment, nothing.
Council, I think we'd have to, I apologize. As a, if I know how I'm going to vote. However, if we do remove this item and we don't place these liens indefinitely, I think we're also going to have to discuss how we're going to handle the disposition of those who have paid, because it doesn't seem like a very just position to forgive the lien for these folks and not refund the others.
Councilman, I agree. I believe the homeowners who've already paid should be refunded. Well, ma'am, we did make a mistake. When we ran on accountability. We need to be accountable for our actions. And I'm sorry that you disagree, sir. But we are accountable for our actions. And it's about...
I'm also accountable for my position.
And ma'am, I agree, but you were not here. Mayor Ellis made that call all by himself. I'm going to move to untable 2017-256.
Second.
Roll call vote, Rick?
Councilmember Fay?
This is just on
Just
table.
on table.
Yes.
Just on table.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
No.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes.
Okay, the motion is, the resolution is off the table, you know, before the council for action. Here's what, the resolution.
Sure. The resolution is a resolution imposing lien for municipal services. You want to read it, Barry?
No.
Okay. So we can move forward and vote. Can I get a motion?
Can I just ask a question first? What is the total amount on the lien? It was 3,006?
3,430
Per person.
per person. And that was resolution 2017-256.
In a motion?
Just one order. In order for it to be tabled, it must have been moved and seconded previously, so it should be right for voting.
I will agree. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Fay?
Yes.
Yeah.
The vote to approve, to impose the lien for
Yeah.
non-payment.
Yeah.
No.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Abstain.
Council President Phillipsburg?
No. So it's tie, it dies on the floor, correct?
Doesn't carry. Yes.
It doesn't carry. Ms. Keller, you can go home if you want, or you can stay.
I will stay for the rest of the meeting.
Thank
I'm
you.
not a spoiled sport.
No, I understand, and I do thank you, honestly. I really do. You do a great job. Yes. So the next would be the resolution authorizing the town of Phillipsburg to execute a shared services agreement between the Borough of Alpha and the town of Phillipsburg for clerical assistance. That would be resolution 2018-25. Can I get a motion to untable?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes.
I think it's caution the council, you know, this is a resolution, or rather, for the council, it's a shared services agreement that does obviously pay employees, so we just keep our the agreement itself and not talk about any employees that may be affected by this.
Yeah. And I'll also ask as a point of information, from the time that we discussed this with Mayor Dunwell, have there been any substantial changes that to be understood as a function of this agreement?
Not to my knowledge, Councilman.
Thank you.
We can vote, please. Roll call vote, Vicky?
Councilman McVeigh?
To approve.
Do you want to read it in its
Yeah.
entirety?
No.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
No.
Council President Colbert?
No. The last on old business is the mayor's attorney bill. Can I get a motion to untable?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second?
Roll call vote.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
Yes.
Council President, since the motion is for the body, I'll reiterate my position. I think for us to draw lines in terms of what we find acceptable sets a dangerous precedent for the future, and I would encourage the rest of the council to approve this bill based on the letter that we received from the mayor's attorney. It's clear that there was political purpose in this attack, and that we should indemnify the mayor for its defense of this suit.
Councilman, I disagree, especially with the political purpose. But your statement is noted, and I would like to go ahead and move forward.
Need a motion back?
No, roll call vote, Vicky?
Councilman McVeigh?
No.
No, it's already been.
I'm good. So.
No.
Councilman Lutz?
Before I say yes, I'll say what I said before. Pay me now or pay me later. That's what it's going to be, and I'll say yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
No.
Council President Colbert?
Before I vote, I'd like to go ahead and point towards our defense and indemnification statute that states that an employee shall not be entitled to defense and indemnification under this chapter unless within 10 calendar days of the time he or she is served with any summons, complaint, process, notice, demand, or pleading the employee delivers the original copy thereof to the clerk for the town of Phillipsburg via personal service or certified mail. Vicki, did this happen?
No.
My vote is no. Okay, there being no mayor, I don't believe we need the mayor or administrator's reports portion.
Do you want to read the chief haste report at this time?
Would you?
Not at all.
Vice President DeGirolamo will read Chief Hay's report.
We did receive a report from Chief Hay. It's worth noting, I thank him for actually sending one in. That was very nice. We are promoting all the department heads to please do so. That's wonderful.
He's been for years.
That's great. So we will, for the public, read that. Okay, it's 2 pages long. Maybe we won't read it all. So the fire department responded to 31 incidents in December, down from 31 calls in November. Property loss totaled $175,000, which were damages to 2 buildings. There was 1 injury, a firefighter who suffered a broken bone in his foot at the Bowling Street fire December 28th. There was 1 serious incident to report on December 28th. 2:57 p.m., the fire extensively damaged both 104 and 106 Bowling Street, when the owner of 106 Bowman Street was thawing pipes with a heat gun in the first floor bathroom. He left the heat gun running unattended while he went to Home Depot for supplies. The heat gun ignited, some insulation, and spread up the interior wall to the second floor and attic, spreading across the attic engulfing both 106 Bowman and the attached residence at 104 Bowman. Both buildings were wood frame balloon construction without any fire stopping, which is what I do, which permitted the fire to spread and burn at a rapid pace. Fire went undetected for quite some time due to the fact that no one was really outside because of the extreme cold, and it was not a school day. Upon arrival of the police, flames were already shooting from the attic windows. An extensive firefight ensued under extreme cold and windy conditions. Water froze instantly on everyone and everything. There was only one occupied unit of the rate, and they were not home at the time of the fire. The 2 individuals living were assisted by the American Red Cross. Firefighters were able to rescue 3 dogs from the second floor apartment at 106 Pullman. They were removed for medical evaluation by ACO Crossan and then subsequently released from Warren Animal Hospital. It took more than 1 hour to contain the fire. After extensive opening of floors, walls, and ceilings to get at the fire, it was very labor intensive. Firefighters from 6 companies responded. A pumper from Alpha Fire Department and ladder from Harmony Fire Department stood by at Fire Central for coverage in the event there was any additional calls necessary. Public Works also responded to keep the area salted, assisted with transporting frozen hose back to the fire stations. 1 lone injury for the month occurred at this incident while firefighters slipped and fell on the ice while reloading the hose and broke a bone in his foot. Additional notes from December. Phillipsburg 1 delivered Santa Claus to the annual Children's Christmas Party at Phillipsburg Railroad Historians December 2nd. Many thanks for all their assistance with this annual event. Respectfully submitted, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President DiGirolamo. Moving forward, we will do public petitions. Folks, just to make you aware, we do have personnel issues that we will be discussing this evening. So if you are here to comment on those issues, you are more than welcome to do so now, because as we proceed with the personnel discussion, since all 3 have decided to have a public hearing, I would request that you do this now because you will not have the time to publicly make any comments during those hearings. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much. For the record, my name is Mark Peck. I'm an attorney with the Florio Crucci law firm here on behalf of LMR Disposal Company in Phillipsburg. LMR is the owner of 660 South Main Street. They purchased that property in March of 2017. Since that time, LMR has, we can attest to the efficiency of your tax collecting office. Paid over $115,000 in back taxes that the prior property owner hadn't paid. Paid that with a premium. Also spent over $50,000 hauling, was it 1,000 tons? 1,000 tons of trash and junk and refuse off the site. Appeared before the council, different members at the time, but appeared before the council in September asking that the council simply make a referral of this property, which is located in the redevelopment area, make a referral to the planning board for consideration of amendment of the applicable redevelopment plan. For whatever reason, even though everybody seems to agree that it was discussed and the council did agree that it was a good idea to refer it to the planning board, that never happened. And there's no record of it happening in the minutes. So the first thing that we're here to request is simply the council take a vote on the record, ratifying that earlier decision and referring the question of whether 660 South Main Street should be part of an amended redevelopment plan or not. I'm not asking the council to take any other action, certainly at this time, but simply to refer to the planning board for the planning board's consideration. And then the other issue we do have is, we did make this request, actually it was initiated in August of 2017, came before the council in September of 2017, there was no action. In December, my office did again write to the Phillipsburg Redevelopment Committee, to a member who again is no longer on the council, asking, hey, can this be referred to the planning board, and also can you hold any enforcement actions in abeyance while this matter is going? Typically, if there's a zoning violation or something like that, the violations are held in abeyance while the property owner can go to the zoning board and try to get it resolved. Since this is a redevelopment area, we don't have the option of seeking a variance. We're constrained to having the redevelopment plan amended. So we would ask, because all of a sudden, after all this, February 1st, we get some violation notices issued by the town. And there's been 2 of them, one for no change of use, and the other for having no zoning permit, which again, it's sort of a catch-22, we're chasing our tail. So we would ask that the town hold any enforcement actions in abeyance so the planning board can consider this and the council can consider this and we can do things the right way. And I thank you very much for your courtesy and your consideration.
Thank you.
So, so as to the first request, we can do that. As to the second request, we can certainly relay that to the mayor's office, but the enforcement end, that's for the administration.
Understood. Wanted to bring it to your attention.
Yep. So it needs to be a motion, again, referring the LMR project 660
660.
South Main
South
Street to the planning board to undertake a study whether the redevelopment plan should be amended to accommodate proposed uses.
I make a motion.
I will second. This is a business that wants to come to Phillipsburg, correct?
Yes, and already made a significant investment in the
Yes.
property. Want to clean it up and bring business into town and keep it in town.
I will second. May I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo? Yes. Council President Colbert?
Yes.
Very much appreciated. Have a
You're
good
very
night.
welcome, sir.
So that, just tomorrow, pick a letter out.
Yep.
And refer it over. And just copy Stan and
State your name and address for the record.
My name is Priya Amador, and I live on Mercer Street. And I'm representing myself and my own personal neighborhood charity that I've created myself. Some people do know about some of the things I've done because you've seen it, my son and I, on different Facebook groups in the community. My personal one that I've done is called Diversity Soul Kitchen. And one of the items with that is that we empower the children in the neighborhood by showing them how to do a lot of different things, especially upcycling, recycling, growing things. And everything that we do is basically stuff from things that have been thrown away or need to be recycled. I also, my son and I represented the community at the One World Community Cafe when it was available to our neighborhood. Most of the things that my son started doing when he was in 8th grade, and he was only 13 at the time, and he's been volunteering in the community for the past 3.5 years. One of the things I said to him was, what you do in your community is just as much, if not more important, than what you do in your books, and all of that lends to the well-rounded individual when you start to apply at colleges. So that's why he approached them in the very beginning, and he and I both would make terracotta heaters from flower pots, and we would go and take them down by people around the river. I taught him how to sew, and we would get blankets and zippers and things that had been thrown away, and we would make sleeping bags and bed rolls and things like that. He also would teach the young children in our community that honestly don't have any place to really go, because on South Main Street, a lot of the time the kids are just running rampant, and there's nothing after school pretty much for them. So one of the suggestions that we would do is we would make lunches, we would teach them how to make their lunches. We would empower them by showing them different foods, different fruits, and that was one of the ideas that I did present to the town as far as having having a meal program that would bridge the gap between when they get out of school at maybe 3 o'clock to that time where their caregiver comes home around 6. What was also very important to me was the fact that the children here may or may not have ever experienced what a red pepper is, or what a kiwi or a kumquat, and things like that. And a lot of items, because I grew up in New York City, is very easy to grow on your windowsill, as my mother taught me. But what excited me even more was the fact that I really, really have been going crazy talking to Mayor Ellis about having a community garden. And we wanted to have what's called Diversity Soul Kitchen Garden with the kids that have volunteered with us which my son and I found a way through me baking and cooking and raising money that way only, because I'm not a charity, I'm not a 504, I'm just a person who's been there, who, by the grace of God, am not there at the moment, but all it takes is for one event in our lives to happen and we're all there. And we teach the children how to take seeds and plant them, how to do their own little gardens, how to do things on their windowsill. But why can't we expand that? So I sat down with Mayor Ellis and I said to him, listen, here's what I want to do. I want to have the Diversity Soul Kitchen Community Garden. The kids have been saving seeds. The kids have been helping us. We take food to our community. We bag up bread. We all volunteer every Saturday. My son, after school, he reads, stuff like that. And what we've done, what we want to do, is create this garden, have the kids work on it, show them how to do everything by hand. Then at harvest time, have a farmer's market. Have a small stipend for each child because they're working. They're not getting a hand out, they're getting a hand up. They're showing, listen, and then taking pride. This is what I've done. This is what I'm doing. The same way my son made t-shirts for the kids that were helping, and he was teaching them how to wash dishes, proper food handling, proper food safety, serving. We also taught them how to pull out a chair, how to set the table properly, how to clean their nails, how to brush their teeth. These may be common things, but maybe they may not have a person in their life to teach them these routine, common things. And what I was excited about the most is that we had mostly boys there. And that excited me because as a single mother, as a single foster adoptive mother, I taught my son these items. And in turn, he turned around and he taught these other young men, these young boys that will grow up to be somebody's father, somebody's caregiver one day, how to square dance, how to learn a different language, where they can actually find Jakarta, India, on the map. They may not ever travel anywhere, but in your mind, in their mind, they're learning it. That's where Diversity Soul Kitchen comes in at, just a little bit. So when I said to Mayor Ellis, to empower the children, not so much slave labor and not so much child labor, but the kids have their hand in something that they're doing. And they have that sense of pride of saying, you know what, I grew that, and I tasted that, and I like that. So what I want to do is have this community garden, have the kids actually work on it, give them a little bit of money for actually doing this work, and then take whatever we have left and put back into the garden for the following year. He said, outrageously awesome, I love it. So on January 24th at the homeless convention that was over at my church of St. Philip,